What have you been up to lately? I'm a singer. I write music. I write songs on the piano. I do country music, pop music, new age music, and I design purses. Wow, that's pretty. A lot of beautiful women have been through the Playboy Mansion, but only one ever made Hugh Hefner propose 4 times, and he turned her down all 4 times. That woman was Barbi Benton, the sex icon of the 1970s, the TV star, the country singer, and the woman who once had the heart of the most powerful man in Hollywood. Should she have turned down the man who had helped her become famous? Was it because of a broken love or an undervalued career, or was there something else that was never talked about? If you thought all Playboy girls were the same, Barbi Benton will make you think again. She was the magazine's non-nude icon and the only woman who ever dared to say no to Hugh Hefner. How did she really get hurt, and why did the Playboy boy boss a man? Stay with us because what you're about to hear will completely change how you see the Playboy world, Hugh Hefner, and most of all the one woman who was brave enough to walk away and never look back. Barbi Benton was born Barbara Lynn Clean on January 28, 1950, in New York City. She came from a middle-class Jewish family. Her father was a doctor who had served in the Navy, and her mother was a housewife and cook. When Barbi was 2 years old, the family moved. Barbi was born in Sacramento, California, and grew up in a neighborhood full of sunshine and classic American dreams. Her childhood didn't look like that of a future star. She didn't have any mentors or artistic background. All she had were pretty features, smart blue eyes, and a mind that was years ahead of her years. Her mother once said she looked like she was standing in the wind, dreamy, curious, but always aware. From a young age, Barbi studied classical piano and ballet, but she never imagined herself pursuing a professional career, and the Barbi's family wanted her to become a veterinarian or a dentist, which are both stable, respectable jobs. When she was 17, Barbi was accepted into the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, which was a big deal for a young woman at the time. She studied hard in biology with the goal of one day wearing a white lab coat. But it was at UCLA that people saw a different Barbi. She was tall, thin, and had a cover girl vibe, which quickly caught the attention of photographers. Barbi started part-time as a model to help pay for school. A series of small commercials for toothpaste, cold medicine, sunglasses, and other items got her regular airtime on local TV. No one, not even Barbi, could have imagined that a fateful meeting on a film set would end her dreams of a white coat and lead her down a path with no return ticket, the path to the Playboy Mansion. In 1968, Barbi Benton was a freshman at UCLA majoring in biology with a clear plan to become a veterinarian. During the day, Barbi worked hard, was smart, independent, had a modern sense of style, and was beautiful enough to catch the eye of the camera. One day, Barbi agreed to play a background role on a new show called Playboy After Dark, which was a mix of music, parties, and conversation filmed to look like a real-life gathering. During a break, while other people talked loudly, Barbi sat alone studying Hugh Hefner, 42 at the time, who was known for not caring about women outside of his curated world. Hefner noticed a girl who wasn't trying to be noticed, and he was interested in her. He asked her directly, "What are you studying?" Barbi replied, "I'm studying to get into veterinary school." She didn't wear a short skirt, make flirty comments, or give him enticing looks. It was her calm confidence that made her stand out to him, a man who was constantly surrounded by women who were trying to get his attention. From that point on, he often went looking for her and eventually asked her to go on a group date at the candy store. One of the most, Barbi turned down the offer at first. But then she remembered that one of the group members was the famous poet and songwriter Shel Silverstein, whom she greatly admired. She said yes, it wasn't a fairy tale date, but it opened a door no one expected. Within weeks, Hugh Hefner promoted Barbi from a minor extra to the official co-host of Playboy After Dark, where she would sit next to him every night and become the new face of the Playboy empire. He even suggested she change her name to Barbara Lynn Clean. This is how Barbi Benton got her name. It's sweet, memorable, and unique enough to stand out. But it wasn't just because Hugh Hefner helped her get famous in a time when a lot of young women were willing to pose naked for a chance at fame. Barbi Benton made a strong place for herself. She never posed fully naked, became a Playmate of the Month, or followed the trend of showing everything, but she was on the cover of Playboy 4 times starting in 1969, which had never been done before. She was beautiful without being scary, smart without being cocky, and had a rare social instinct. She knew how to make both men and women feel at ease. Barbie wasn't just pretty, she could read a room, knew when to stay quiet and when to speak up, and most importantly, knew her limits, so she wouldn't be sucked into the spotlight of the man she was dating. Her fame came quickly. Her name was on late-night talk shows, and prestigious gala directors started inviting her to try out, not just because she was dating Hugh Hefner, but because she was good at what she did on the famous country variety show Hi-Ya. Barbie made waves with her charming, witty, and versatile comedic performance. She wasn't pigeonholed as a Playboy doll. She was welcomed as a real entertainer. Her first movie role was in The Naked Cheerleader. Then she was in The Third Girl from the Left. And finally she was in Hugh Hefner Did Not Create Barbi Benton. Instead, it was she, with her stage intuition and strategic thinking, who changed the image of the modern Playboy woman as sensual with limits, rebellious but controlled, and most importantly, free to say no. She didn't follow the usual path of other beauties, which is exactly why Hollywood couldn't take its eyes off of her. Barbi Benton wasn't the first woman to leave the Playboy mansion, but she was one of the first. The young Barbie caught people's attention with her good looks on TV and in Playboy magazines, but she didn't stop at being Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. She quickly became famous in Hollywood as a versatile performer who could act, sing, and do comedy. From the late 1960s to the early 1980s, Barbie was a regular on American TV shows like Sugar Time, as Max Douglas, Fantasy Island, The Love Boat, and The Great American Beauty. Contest and Hospital Massacre made her a familiar face in millions of American homes. Even though she wasn't always the lead, her sharp screen presence, natural acting skills, and unique voice always made her stand out. Barbie once said, "I didn't want to be just another pretty face passing by on screen. If I appeared, I wanted to leave something behind." She didn't stop at TV. She moved on to films like X-Ray Deathstalker and a number of successful TV films, in which she played both lead and supporting roles in comedies, horror films, light comedies, and intense films. More importantly, she broke free from the Playboy girl label, which was something that most of the women in the magazine never did. But the bigger surprise came when Barbi Benton started making music in 1975, starting with country pop, a style that sex icons didn't usually like. Each of Barbi Benton's albums, Something New, 1975, Kinetic Voyage, 1988, and Something New, 1976, was a new chapter in her life and a different way for her to express herself, ranging from traditional country pop to late 1980s synth pop experiments. Once again, Barbi Benton did something that no one expected. She had a country music hit. The song Brass Buckles, with its rustic melody and tender lyrics, made it to the top of the Billboard country chart, marking the biggest moment in her career. Other songs like Roll You Like a Wheel and Ain't That Just the Way were played on American radio for a long time. Barbie didn't have a great voice or be a musical prodigy, but people loved her seriousness, effort, and stage presence. She didn't use music as a gimmick. She put her all into it, doing hundreds of small live shows and picking out her own band. "I don't sing to show off my figure," she once said. "I sing because I truly love music and I want people to believe that." At the height of her fame, Barbie was invited to every major event in Los Angeles. She met Jack Nicholson, Tony Curtis, Tony Bennett, Sammy Davis Jr., and Warren Beatty, all of whom were not easy to talk to, but they all shook hands and chatted with Barbie at Playboy Mansion parties. She wasn't an outsider. She was an important part of American entertainment at the time. There were no Oscars, Grammys, or Emmys, but Barbi Benton succeeded in her own way. She built a personal brand that didn't depend on anyone else. She was a Playboy model who never posed fully naked, Hugh Hefner's girlfriend who never married him, and a sultry singer who still earned respect on the country stage, and a TV actress who wouldn't be typecast. Maybe that's why Barbi Benton, the non-nude Playboy icon, became the only woman Hugh Hefner ever loved so much that he proposed 4 times but never managed to keep her. It wasn't a one-time breakthrough. It was a series of conscious, persistent, and often risky choices that not everyone in show business had the courage to see through. After making a name for herself in the entertainment world through talent, and Barbi Benton once again became the center of attention. But this time it wasn't for a new role, but for a relationship that captivated all of America, her relationship with Playboy mogul Hugh Hefner. She was at the height of her fame, appearing on TV shows, releasing albums, performing across the country, and being a mainstay at every major party. But as her success grew, so did the distance between them. Every time I went out to do a show, go on tour, or start a new film, we'd start a new relationship. Barbi remembered, the more successful I got, the harder it was to hold on to the relationship. From 1969 to 1976, Barbi lived with Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion, which was the height of luxury and a place where every woman dreamed of going. But behind the cocktails and endless parties, their relationship was falling apart little by little. Hefner couldn't give up his old habits, and Barbi, even though she loved him very much, couldn't keep ignoring them. I loved him so much it felt impossible to. I knew I had to let go, because if I stayed, I would lose myself the first time she left. Every time she walked away after finding out he was cheating on her, he asked her to come back with a marriage proposal. But she turned him down over and over again because she was afraid of losing him. The third time she left the Playboy Mansion without saying a word and without looking back, he still thought she might come back, but I no longer believed her. The fourth time she was already married to someone else in 1979. She accepted the marriage proposal. George Gra, a real estate developer who had nothing to do with the entertainment industry. They settled in Colorado and had 2 children, Alexander and Ariana. There was no Hollywood, no scandals, just a quiet, normal life that truly belonged to her. She turned down more roles, performance offers, and TV returns. Barbi withdrew completely. There was no press conference to announce her retirement, and she didn't say goodbye to the public. She just disappeared gracefully and decisively, as if she had never been in the spotlight at all. The one thing people remember most about her besides Playboy is the choice Hugh Hefner never got and probably never forgave himself for. When he died, a big part of me went with him. And I'll miss him very much. Barbi lived through a love based on manipulation, betrayal, and desperate advances, and in the end she chose a path no one saw coming. She wasn't the heartbreaker who broke up with love, but the woman brave enough to leave a dream the world envied because she knew it no longer belonged to her. Barbi Benton was never Playmate of the Month and never posed fully naked, but she became the face of a whole era of Playboy and a cultural icon that Hugh Hefner could never find a replacement for. In a time when Playboy fame was often tied to scandal and the body, Barbi stood out because she was smart, sharp, and had a clear artistic direction. Most importantly, she knew exactly who she was in a world made for men. She once said, "I never felt like I had to take it all off to be because of this." Barbi Benton became the first example of a new idea, the intelligent sex symbol. She didn't say or show much, but she was undeniably attractive not because of sexy words or pictures, but because she had the air of a woman who knew what she wanted and wouldn't let anyone else define her. In one of her most surprising contributions, Barbi was the one who first suggested that Hugh Hefner buy the now iconic mansion in Los Angeles, the Playboy Mansion. She saw the house while driving around Beverly Hills and told Hefner, "You need to buy that place. It just feels right." And the Playboy Mansion became synonymous with the Playboy brand, hosting hundreds of events for thousands of celebrities and serving as the setting for countless documentaries, movies, and cultural memories. Barbi was also one of the first women to actively change the world's perception of the Playboy girl on screen, stage, and in music. Barbi showed that women were more than just their bodies. They had depth, artistic passion, and the power to choose their own path. She was in a number of important documentaries about Playboy and Hugh Hefner, from the hit show The Girls Next Door to American Playboy, The Hugh Hefner Story. In each of them, she was remembered as a very different ex-girlfriend, with no drama, regrets, or sensationalism, just mutual respect between two people who were at the center of American pop culture for a while. For Barbi Benton, she didn't need scandal or awards. She just needed to make history once and then quietly leave, leaving behind a legend that no one else could ever recreate. Barbi Benton was the sex icon of a whole decade, but when she was 30, while most of her peers were still trying to stay relevant in show business, she chose to disappear. She didn't hold a press conference or a farewell speech. She just stopped working in the late 1980s after having 2 children. Alexander and Ariana. Barbi left Hollywood to be with her family in Colorado. She went from being a TV star with weekly national exposure to a wife and mother living in a one-of-a-kind house that the press called the Copper Palace a mix of space age meets Raikou residence, nestled in the mountains of Aspen. Barbi designed the house herself, and it's a mix of raccoon opulence and space age futurism, with curving hallways, copper-toned interiors, and windows that face the Starwood mountain range. The media once called it the strangest home in showbiz. Barbi, on the other hand, found peace there. She started to focus on a new interest in interior design without getting any formal training or turning it into a job. She often gave her husband, real estate developer George Graa, advice on housing projects. Several of the homes Grotto built have Barbi's aesthetic touch, from color schemes and lighting to space layout. She would also appear in documentaries or specials about Hugh Hefner and Playboy's history, as someone closely connected to him for almost a decade after Hefner's death. And in a rare interview with People magazine in 2017, Barbi said, "When he died, he took a large part of me with him." She also said that in his last months, he had trouble using the phone, so they had to talk in person during their last visit. Hefner took her into a private room in the mansion, shut the door, and they sat there together, talking about the past. As they said goodbye, he told her, "I hope you'll come see me more often." Barbi never saw him again. She lives a quiet life, doesn't use social media, doesn't go to events, and doesn't do public interviews. Every once in a while, she's seen in Aspen or Los Angeles. She's still graceful, radiant, and calmly confident. She does yoga, eats mindfully, stays fit by walking, horseback riding, and gardening, and she once said, "I've always believed that taking care of yourself isn't about how you look, but how you feel inside. I never wanted to wear myself out trying to live up to what others expected of me." Barbi Benton has never been involved in show business or the media. And she has never talked about her kids in public or used her fame to help them get started in their careers. She retired from Hollywood in a quiet but deliberate way, and she doesn't dwell on the past. She once said on a TV show, "I have nothing to be ashamed of in what I've done, but I don't want to be stuck in the old Playboy image. Forever I was that girl once, and at age 70, Barbi Benton lives her own life. She doesn't need a stage, flashbulbs, or applause, and she doesn't need to be validated either. She is living proof of one thing: being sensual doesn't mean you're weak, success doesn't have to be loud, and women, whether they're in Playboy or the real world, can still choose what makes them feel the most at peace." So tell me, is Barbi Benton just Hugh Hefner's girlfriend? Or is she a quiet icon of intelligence and strength? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. And click on the video to learn more about the touching life of this famous Hollywood actor. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next inspiring picture music.